Well, there are actually more people that got on the bus at that stop than I anticipated. Although I see there's somebody waiting at the stop that I just got off at that he's just loitering at the bus stop. So, I've noticed a sign on some of the bus stops that the city of Phoenix has a local ordinance that prohibits it, but it's clearly not being enforced. Anyway, it's still Wednesday, January 12th, 2022, 9:41 p.m. I was going to take the Route 170 over to the 44 southbound, catching it over at, doing my transfer over at Bell and Tatum again. And I was looking at the bus schedules, and I was looking at about a 25-minute wait for the transfer there. Most likely I'd have no problem making the transfer, but it was it's longer than I really want to be sitting on the corner of Bell and Tatum. Kind of sucks because if that schedule was adjusted, there's a bus I missed by like 5 minutes. Speaking of bus transfers that don't work, on my way up here, up to the finish line, I was really hoping they'd have my bag. The last time I left something there, I left one of those little recreational marijuana envelopes with my certified MVR and some paperwork from Social Security in it. And they, oh shit, I'm sorry, I just had a reality check where I realized some other stuff that was in my, in that bag, other things that were important other than just my birth certificate. Yeah, I really hosed myself by leaving that bag at the bar. Anyway, last time I had left that bag over there, they had saved it for me and I got it back. I talked to the bar back that was there last night. He remembers picking it up at the end of the night and putting it in the office, but nobody that was there was able to find it in the office. I did leave my number there on a card again and just asked, hey, if it turns up, please call me, but I'm not very optimistic about it. Thinking that possibly it got thrown in the trash because the bag itself, without really looking at the contents, kind of looked like trash. And the envelope that I had my paperwork in was just a used manila padded envelope, so also kind of to someone not paying attention looks like trash. But yeah, I went out to the dumpster. Oh, and that's what I was saying when I saw a bunch of people that were doing fentanyl and just loitering outside the building. That's where they were. This looks like where the bus stop should be, but there's not a bus stop sign, which makes me nervous as hell. Memory serves, I got about 12 minutes here. Gonna catch, this is a part of town I'm not as familiar with the bus service in, and this portion of 32nd Street, so 32nd Street north of the 51 freeway, I'm at Bell Road right now, that's all serviced by Route 16. And interesting on that, I don't know that I've ever rode this route, but it goes, starts at the community college. I forget the name. I think it's Paradise Valley Community College. There's a community college near 32nd Street and Union Hills, which is a mile north of here. And there's a new Chipotle going in there. That's nifty. It's a brand new little strip mall going in. I forget what used to be on this corner. If memory serves, there was an old Circle K that had been transformed into a Trails head shop. But it looks like that stuff is gone, and there's a nicer little strip mall going in. Anyway, so yeah, the bus starts, the route starts there at 32nd Street, which of course means there's no service going north of Union Hills, but yeah, the route starts there going south. Yeah, there's a whole lot of fenced up stuff. Looks like it was I can't read what that sign says. Customers love us. Read our reviews, whatever this was. When I was a cab driver, that was a Circle K in that building, but now it's whatever it is, it's closed and that lot is fenced off. Anyway, I'm going to proceed to walk a quarter mile north of here. There should be another bus stop, so I'm not waiting at a spot that looks like a bus stop that doesn't have a sign. There's there's a lot of new bus drivers, and they just seem to have it fixed in their head that no sign, no stop. So, yeah, unmarked bus stop, much like an unmarked crosswalk. The people operating the vehicles, it doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. They don't believe it's a thing. Reminds me of the last time I was trying to go to the DES office, and I was trying to stop. It's on the Route 1 headed east. Route 1 headed eastbound, and there's a bus stop directly across the street from the DES office, and I was trying to get off there, and the driver sailed right by it, and I'm like, hey, you passed my stop. And they stopped a little, to give them credit at least, they stopped a little bit further down the road and didn't take me way out of my way. The driver didn't take me way out of my way. However, wasn't familiar with the route, and the stop was kind of obscured by some scaffolding with the new pack and stack apartment building that was going in there. So, driver didn't see it, didn't stop, didn't exist. Okay, come on, focus, iPhone. This is ridiculous. We're so blurry right now. All right, so apparently the iPhone isn't going to focus. Hope you enjoy the glaze look of, wow, it's not focusing at all. So that blur across the street, that's a Fry's, pretty sure that's a Fry's Marketplace store. When I was a cab driver and spent a lot of time in this part of town and had my little independent cab company, Express Cab, that ran up here, that was a Smitty's. Really miss Smitty's. Smitty's was a great local grocer, and all the Smitty's stores not only were grocery stores, but were kind of like a small, in a way, sort of like a small Walmart in that they had all kinds of goods, but they also had a cafe and a barber shop, and pretty cool stores. I really miss Smitty's. Grew up with Smitty's. Regularly was a customer of Smitty's through the 90s as a young adult, and miss it. And I really wish this goddamn phone would focus. This is ridiculous. Maybe if I get a little bit closer to this hole, it'll focus in on it and get it together. Come on, iPhone, you can do this. Or not. All right, y'all getting a super blurry vlog as I'm walking north on 32nd Street looking for a bus. I cannot believe it just will not focus. This is nuts. So anyway, yeah, I've as a result of my bag not being there, I have lost my my birth certificate. Sure, my birth certificate. I was born in California, so that's going to be a bitch to replace. I also have a driving job that I was applying to, a contractor driving job, and they wanted to see a copy of I believe my registration and my insurance, proof of insurance card. So I had picked that up from Rob's shop the last time I went over there. When he told me it would be finished, my car would be finished last Monday. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to happen. And I had that in like kind of a plastic thing that, kind of protected it. And I had put that in that bag because on that trip I was hoping to take a photograph of it and submit it to the person who was reaching out to me for that job. And now those are gone. So I'm going to have to, that's difficult to say the least. So, I no longer have my registration, my proof of insurance for my car either. So, lost 3 rather important documents. That pink battery that I recently found for adding juice to my phones, that was in that bag. That kind of sucks, although for what it's worth, it didn't really seem to hold a whole lot of charge. So easy come, easy go on that. I also had a 20-ounce Mountain Dew that I had just purchased. That's why I had the QT bag, and also an open bag of pretzels. I don't recall what else was in there. I think that was everything in the bag, but I'm hoping it turns up, but I'm not very optimistic about it. Now the bar back, he said that he did see it and he put it in the office, but nobody was there. Nobody was there, had any recollection of it. Other than Ken. The owner didn't seem to know anything about it. He was there. I didn't talk to him directly. And then the one daytime, the happy hour bartender that I know the most, she was just getting off shift when I came in, and I forget her name, but anyway, she said she wasn't there. That bar opens actually at 6 a.m., so she said she wasn't there at 6 when they open. So, I don't know. I mean, part of me is wanting to be like, well, maybe get there at 6 a.m. tomorrow, but the odds of me being, like, waking up at 4 a.m. to catch the bus to get to that bar by 6 is not good. I'm really kicking myself in the ass that I didn't do that this morning, because maybe then I could have actually got my stuff. And that was kind of the plan, but I don't know. I think I just knocked out around 2 or 3, something. I was trying to stay up. In fact, I do remember at one point half waking up at 4 a.m. and just being like, no, I'm way too tired for this shit. So, seems like the bus should have been here by now. I'm shot 11 minutes of video, so so I was going to talk about how so many bus transfers are really ill-timed here. So when I was riding the 44 northbound earlier today, a woman got on the bus with me at Thomas on the Route 44 northbound, and she asked the driver to let her know when she got to Tatum Boulevard. And of course, the right question, he said, because once you get north of McDonald Drive, that is the Tatum 44 is the Tatum Boulevard bus. He's like, well, where we're at on Tatum Boulevard, which is a good question to ask, because if he'd have notified her, when she got to Tatum Boulevard, which would have been at the corner of McDonald Drive and Tatum Boulevard, and she'd have got off there, there's nothing. There is absolutely nothing there except some very high dollar houses, which I highly doubt she had any need to go to. But anyway, she said Greenway Road, and I'm like, hey, that's, I said, that's no problem. I'm getting off a mile after that and let you know. And then as we got seated, I asked her if she used the Valley Metro app. And I guess she didn't realize, so she's like, oh yeah, I use the app, but come to find out she was going to some website. I can't believe my phone still hasn't focused yet. This is ridiculous. She said she was going to some website and it wasn't loading. I'm like, no, this app. And then I showed her the app. She's like, oh no, I don't use that. I just use a website. And I'm like, yeah, that's not it. So I got her to download the app, and I showed her kind of how to use it and some stuff, and showed her some of the issues. And she just moved, and this is her first time going up that route for a work commute. So I was kind of confused by it. Anyway, showing her how the bus and stuff, how the app works, and she seemed very thankful and just figuring it out. And this is odd. So it shows the 16 South that I'm waiting for will show up at this stop. I'm at 32nd Street in Campobello. We'll show up at this stop. It's scheduled to show at 9:55, so it's going to show up, which is a minute away. It's 9:54. It's going to show up at 10:06, which is, fine, whatever, 11 minutes. Usually when it's delayed and then I click on it, it'll show GPS, but it's showing the live vehicle data is currently not available. So I'm guessing that it's getting the delayed time based on probably a northbound 16, that it's on its way there and turns around and whatever. But it is awfully disturbing that it's not showing vehicle tracking. But I guess I got 12 minutes. Worry about that in 12 minutes. So I'll just keep shooting blurry ass video. I'm just bewildered by how it's not focusing, because usually this iPhone focuses pretty well. But boy, it's just everything's blurry with it today. Anyway, so I was helping that woman use her transit app, and can I just take a minute to point out how nice and clean this bus stop is? Look at that. Nice clean sidewalk, nice clean bus stop. The light fixture not working. Bus stops with working lights are very few and far between here in Phoenix. We got a clean trash can that looks like it's got a liner in it, and it looks like it's been maintained. Yeah, this is really what a bus stop should be like. No homeless people here, no junkies here. Yeah, this is nice. Note to self. This is a safe place to wait for a bus. Anyway, so I'm riding the northbound 44 with that woman, and as we were getting kind of close to her bus transfer, I was showing her how you'd see how her transfer was going to work and when the bus was going to be there, and she was able to see that she's like, well, this sucks, but she was able to see that transfer was not going to work for her, and that she was going to miss her bus in real time. And I took some screenshots of it. Basically, what happened is, as we were approaching the intersection, so was the 150. So was the 156 westbound on Greenway that she was trying to transfer to there at Tatum. And as we got to the intersection, and got a red light at the intersection, we could see, looking out the windows, that the 156 eastbound was sitting at the bus stop. And I'm like, well, maybe it's going to wait for her. She's like, nope, it's going to fucking leave me. And it did. As we got across the street, and the bus we were on was pulling into the stop, the bus that she needed to transfer from was pulling away from the stop. Which begs the question, why the hell aren't the drivers trained to simply watch in their rearview mirrors? And why don't they have access to the same GPS tracking that shows transferring routes that riders who are using the transit app have access to? Why is that something that is not on their dashboard? It is not on their radar that they can pay attention to, so they can look at that and see, oh, hey, look, this is a major transfer point between the route 44 and the route I'm driving. Maybe there's people getting off that bus that have been riding from as far as the airport that need to get on my bus, and I should wait for them. I mean, even if he's on time, and that's going to make him a couple minutes late, it would seem to me it would be more beneficial for that driver to roll out of his stop a couple minutes late with whoever's transferring to his bus than to leave on time, and because of poor route planning and timing that we have in our system here, and then leave whoever's transferring to him, like that woman that I was showing how to use the bus app, sitting at that corner for 30 minutes. Oh, and yes, it was going to be 30 minutes till her next bus showed up, assuming, of course, that her next bus showed up on time. So, I feel really bad for her, and I guess I feel vindicated to see it happens to other people, and it doesn't just happen to me. But yeah, that's the transit experience. Speaking of that transit experience, as I was riding the Route 170 from 44th Street over to the Finish Line bar, something very similar to that happened, although the guy managed to catch the bus. I want to say it was at 7th Street, which, if you're riding, I was riding westbound on the 170, it's 7th Street. You get people that are transferring from the Route 7. Could have been headed north, could have been headed south, whatever. He's coming from the Route 7. And just as the bus was pulling up, this guy ran up behind the bus and just started pounding on the side of the bus loudly, which startled the people in the bus. But it did succeed in what he was trying to do, and it got the bus driver to stop. And when the guy got in, if I was in that situation, I would just be very grateful. Like, dude, wow, thank you for stopping. That's me. I'm generally trying to be grateful in those kind of situations. But this guy hopped on the bus just angry and yelling, dude, you need to motherfucking look at your rearview mirror. You need to fucking watch your rearview mirror for passengers. And while I agree with the guy, like, not a great approach, the way he was yelling at the driver, but he's right. Like, the drivers really should make an effort to watch in the rearview mirrors and watch for people that are walking over or running over from transferring routes, and watch to see, hey, did the bus just cross on 7th Street? Because there's probably people coming on that bus that need to get on my bus, especially considering that I think by that time the 170 is only running every half hour, and that person doesn't want to be stuck there for 30 minutes. 30 minutes is a long time to be stuck waiting, especially when you consider how many sketchy people are loitering at bus stops. I don't want to be around all these fentanyl addicts for 30 minutes. Please don't leave without me. And the guy just continued to just yell and berate at the driver, which, and other, and there was kind of a camaraderie around us on the bus, and like, dude, don't yell at him. He don't know. He don't care. And I kind of chimed in on that as well. It's like, yeah, he don't. The people that drive the bus, they don't ride the bus. They don't know, man. Just sit down. But and I doubt the driver cared, to be honest, and it's sad. It should really be part of their training to at transfer points, to be aware of where the transfer points are. And at transfer points, be looking for people that are trying to transfer from buses, because it is poorly timed and very difficult to transfer buses here. All right, my phone just told me I'm at 10%, so I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully my bus will be here soon. Yeah, like I said, trying something different. I was hoping this would be a shorter transfer. It's looking like I still ended up waiting here for over 20 minutes, but mostly I want to try riding this. I've never rode this route southbound, and it goes south and actually gets on the 51 freeway to go through, I forget the name of that mountain pass, north of Squaw Peak, but yeah, it gets on the 51 from 32nd Street and then exits at Northern, takes Northern to 16 and goes south on 16th Street. I've never rode that on a bus. Very few buses actually use freeways, except for the express buses that don't really run at times or in places that they're of any use to me. So I think this I don't kind of see how the timing of this is and how that rides. And for this, I'm planning on going down to McDowell and maybe riding this bus over to the Wander Inn and just hanging out there for a bit, because I'm not really that eager to be at home. Honestly, things are better than they have been with Priscilla, but there's no intimacy there, and that just, yeah. The only thing worse than being at home alone is being at home alone with somebody else that makes you feel more alone, because they're not really engaged with you. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, wrapping this up. Thanks for watching. Oh, and in case you missed it, yes, I does look like I got the job offer at Amazon. It does look like they've completed my background check and my drug test, and I'm good to go. I do need to figure out what I'm going to do with my shoes, because that was another thing that was in the bag that I lost at finish line, was my directions on how to get my work shoes and the voucher for it. So I got a lot on my plate tomorrow. I've got intake with the vocational rehab program through my clinic, which I may not really need if the thing works with Amazon, but I think it's in my best interest to go ahead and participate with it, since I've been scheduled with it, and hopefully that will have some benefits for me. If nothing else, maybe I'll get me another bus pass. And also, oh my gosh, the phone finally focused. Oh, that was helpful. The other thing is that I just can't believe how empty this road is at night. Yikes. The other thing is that when that, yeah, so I got that. I think it's at like 11 a.m. I definitely need to check the text message from Adam, my job coordinator, and find out what time that is, and set myself an alarm clock and be ready to make that. And then I really don't know where else to go other than where I had my Amazon job interview yesterday, to get a replacement of that form to get the shoes. And hopefully if I can get there, during the day, before 5 p.m., they can help me out with that. I'm pretty sure they can, but oh damn, it's so far to go, because that's clear the hell out of 67th Avenue in Buckeye. So many things that would be so easy to do if I had a car, but I don't. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me at this empty, cold bus stop. And appreciate y'all watching. It makes me feel a little bit less alone.